guys, and today we'll be finishing Death Note. Guys, okay, it's been since I recorded episode 36, was almost 3 weeks ago. I usually do one of these every single week, but with this episode in particular, every time I came to try and record it, I couldn't bring myself to do it. I couldn't do it, boys. I don't want to finish it. If this was up to me, and if I was not making videos on this show, I would never finish this show. I wouldn't do it. I would forever. 36 was the end. Light wins. Everyone died. We're happy. That's how it ends. I don't want to watch that. I don't want to do it. But okay, anyways. Since it's been about 3 weeks since I watched the last episode, I watched the entire show again, and I watched episode 36 4 to 5 times. Okay, what I think is going to happen and what I want to happen are complete opposites. What I want to happen is I want everyone to drop dead. Light and Mikami, they look at each other, they smile, and Koino Mega Lover by Maximum the Hormone starts playing, boys. That's what I want to happen. I mean, I want that. What they made it look like happened last episode, that is how I want it to go. Light is victorious. That's what I want to happen. But I don't think it's gonna happen. And reasons for that, 2 main reasons, is because Ryuk, he said this multiple times. Basically, anyone that comes in contact or uses the notebook are cursed with fear, pain, and misery. So, and I remember Light hearing that, and he was like, "Nah, I'm different. I'm like the chosen one." He didn't say that, but that's kind of how he makes it seem. Is that he's the chosen one, and that death will not come his way. And failure and all that will not come his way. Even though everyone in this show who has used the Death Note, besides so far Mikami, Misa, and Light, everyone else who has actually used the Death Note is dead. Everyone has died. These are the only 3 remaining people that have used the Death Note and have not died yet. And, I mean, Ryuk seems like he knows what he's talking about. I mean, he's a Shinigami, so he must know what he's talking about when he says this. So I can't imagine Light is just special. I mean, maybe, hopefully he is the chosen one, and death and misery and pain does not come his way. But I mean, like, he's lost his father, and, like, it's been kind of like, no, I'm just scared. That is one of the reasons. And the second is, last episode, boys, Nier, the way he was acting, it just feels like he didn't say the full story. Something's about to happen that we don't know of yet that is going to be horrible for Light, I think, is what's going to happen, honestly. I don't think we have the full picture. There's just no way we can, right? I hope we have the full picture and that Light is right. That's what I'm hoping, but I don't know. I'm thinking Nier has something up his sleeve still. And 2 or 3 episodes back, when Mello dies, spoilers, we get the whole thing where he's like, this is the only way. Like, we had, like, he said something like, this is the only way, when he was driving away in, like, the truck, when he has Kiyomi Takeda in the back. Like, what's he talking about? Where was he taking her? Like, was that part of this plan? You know what I mean? Was this all part of the plan to get this all in motion? Like, you know what I mean? Was that part of this plan, what Mello was doing? I don't know. I'm just scared, though. I'm so nervous, boys. I really don't want to watch this. This is going to be horrible. You boys probably going to start crying. I'm just going to be honest. I don't want to watch this. All I know is I'm hoping... Okay, if Light's plan is botched, something terrible happens and it does not go according to plan, he still has plan B. He still has the piece of the Death Note in his watch. Hopefully that comes in play. So I mean, if it fails, he does still have the paper in his watch. You know what I mean? So I don't know. We'll find out, I guess. So. Oh man, starting. I'm already kind of shaky. See that? Whack. I haven't even started. Starting this in 3, 2, 1. What? Bam. Oh. Yeah. Okay. We get the opening. Okay. Let's go. Our boy Rio. He better be in this, boys. Last episode. Let's go, Light. You got this. I hope you got this, man. Man. This is it. Lisa. We're almost done. You're safe. Hopefully it stays that way. You've defeated all that has been in your way so far. This is the last. This is it. We're almost done. This is it. Just near. Oh gosh. This is it. I'm so scared. Okay.
38, 39. Well, Nier, looks like I win.
I hope so, bro. New world. I hope so. Oh my god, I'm so shaky. Please, I hope it is New World. No, why is Light coming through? Well, Light, maybe. You know, Light's victorious. Oh, crap. Please.
We're still alive.
Yeah. Oh, no.
We haven't died.
Didn't I already tell you all that no one was gonna die?
But why? Why would they die? God. Did everything you told me?
Mikami, shut up.
Body, take him now!
Don't look at Light and say God. Oh, crap. What is happening?
The notebook, please.
Oh, crap.
I can confirm that the first 4 names are definitely the real names.
Oh, that's awesome. That's the real names. Okay.
The second 4 are the names of
Yeah,
your team.
and look who's missing.
The name that hasn't been written down is Light Yagami.
Light, please do something.
If that weren't enough, Mikami also addressed you as God, and said he did what you asked him to. It's settled.
Oh my god. Light, please.
This whole thing is a setup.
Please.
This is all part of Nier's plan to frame me. Isn't it a little odd that no one died after having their name written in the notebook? This proves it's a trap.
Oh god.
Because I modified the notebook.
I don't get it. How?
You...
Please, Light, please.
This is a setup. I don't know this guy.
Please, Mikami, play the part.
Light, it's too late to deny it. You know Nier has won.
Whoa.
Just a moment ago, you were saying it looks like I
Oh
won.
god, he actually said that out loud.
What confession do we need? Light. Why?
No, Light, do not let him do it. Yes! Oh my god, I don't like seeing Light like this.
Light Yagami. L. Kira. It's over. You've lost the game.
No. Light,
Just a moment ago, you proclaimed your victory expecting us all to die. And to tell the truth, you might have actually won. When I said before that we had modified the notebook, I was in fact referring to the real notebook as well as the fake.
oh god.
We only switched part of the fake notebook, but as for the real one, we replaced the entire thing.
Oh my.
The notebook here is actually the real one.
Oh my.
No. Impossible.
Light,
We used the
please
same
stop
kind of
talking like that.
we used, copied his handwriting perfectly, and made both the inside inside and the outside of our fake look exactly like the original. Giovanni was able to do it in a single night.
MVP Giovanni.
I had touched the real notebook before coming. I've been able to see the Shinigami as well.
Oh, he is here.
It's a pleasure to meet you, Mr. Shinigami. I'm near.
He has been here.
Nice to meet you too.
Let's go, our boy.
You can talk to Ryuk. You can see him, so that means it must be true.
Some of the edges of this notebook's pages are torn. Tell me, if someone's name was written on a ripped-off piece of paper next to
Ryuk, lie for the boy. No!
I thought so. I bet you were able to use that to your advantage.
Homie Light, you're supposed to be on his side.
Many times Light Yagami. You are Kid.
Ryuk. Pull the rim. No, I don't want him to die. I don't want Ryuk to die.
This has got to be a trick.
Ryuk,
Could it be
please.
he's betrayed me somehow?
Please. Please.
It's all thanks to Mel.
Oh my god, I knew it.
I believe if I explain this much, you'll begin to understand.
What?
Please.
Mellow.
What? How?
Please take a look at this page of the notebook.
Takada's name is in the notebook. I was the one who killed her, but her death was written there just 1 minute later. Did that mean Mikami did the same thing I did? God, you told me you couldn't move freely. I had to make
Oh,
sure I was taken care of.
crap.
My duty to you? You idiot. I give you strength
You're s-
to make any unnecessary movements until today.
Please, Light.
It's all true.
Get this under control.
6th, right after Takada's kidnapping was broadcast
Oh,
on
no.
the news, Mikami went to the bank.
For someone so methodical to go to the bank twice in 2 days, I followed Mikami to the bank as he headed for the safe deposit boxes. It was only at this time that he seemed concerned whether someone was following him.
Oh no.
I got
Mikami
into the
slipped
safe
up,
deposit
but
box, inside was the
kind
letter
of. No,
as they had
no.
already been written inside it.
Oh man.
Do you understand now, Light Yagami? You didn't realize that Mikami made a move on his own and wrote Takada's name in his notebook because you had already killed
No.
her using a notebook clipping yourself. This was the event that made me consider the possibility of a fake notebook.
No.
To stop it thanks to the efforts of
Oh.
one person. It was Mello who did it all.
Mellow.
Mello probably knew what was going to happen all along.
Well then, if I don't do it,
I bet Mello knew in his heart that working by ourselves, neither of us would be able to attain our goal and surpass our mentor, El.
That's what he was talking about in the truck.
Together we can stand with El. Together we can surpass El.
Okay, that's wholesome, bro.
We faced the kid who defeated El, and with solid evidence beat him at his own game.
God, man.
Let's see you try and talk your way out of this one.
Like, get them Yeezys on, start running. Please, bro. You see the hook coming in? That shot? He's on the hook, boys. At least he doesn't have to hide it. Let's go! I'm so hyped. Please. Light?
That's right. I am.
Let's go! He doesn't have to hide it. Ooh! All humans without... Okay. Wait, what? Oh, that's just in general? Oh, why did they say that? They go is... After they die, the place they go is nothingness?
That's right.
What?
I am Kira. And what can you do? Kill me right here? Hear this. I'm not only Kira,
But I'm God.
but I am also God of the world.
Let's go! Like,
Kira has become law in the world we now live. He's the one who's maintaining order. I have become justice. The only hope for mankind. Kill me? Is that really the right thing to do?
this is so hype.
Since Kira's appearance 6 years ago, wars
6 years ago.
have been reduced by over 70%.
Wow.
But it's not enough. This world is still rotten. With too many rotten people.
Matsuda, go on light side, please.
Somebody
I complete. Oh.
All those years ago, I knew I had to do it. No, I was the only one who could.
Yup.
I understood that killing people was a crime.
They're bad people,
There was
though.
no other way the world had to be fixed.
I completely understand.
To me, only I could do it. Who else could have done it and come this far? Would they have kept going? The only one who can create a new world is me.
Let's go. I hope so, bro. You better start bolting. How do you get out of this?
No! You're just a murderer, like Yagami. And this
No.
notebook is the deadliest weapon of mass murder in the history of mankind. And you have confused yourself
Oh,
with that.
man.
In the end, you're nothing more than a crazy serial killer. That's all you are. Nothing more and nothing less.
I do not agree with that. I mean, he is a killer, but, you know. No, Matsuda, please. What do you do?
Useless fools, as if they could ever understand.
Did he have a plan B? Like, maybe he already wrote everyone's names down? I hope. That doesn't make any sense. Hopefully he didn't skip leg day. He's gonna have to run, right?
That notebook you have, and the one that Aizawa brought from the Japanese task force headquarters. Are they both real?
What is he up to? Is he bluffing?
Let's go, like, you got this. You got this.
Moment, only I know where the real notebook is.
So they can't kill him?
If you truly want to defeat Kira, as well as test the notebook that Aizawa's carrying, I guess you're gonna have to write down either my name or Mikami's.
Holy moly.
It's the only way to see if it's real. Or fake! He's hidden a piece of the notebook!
No! No! Out of everybody, why Masuda? He'll just use his... Yeah, for real.
Who the hell do you think you're shooting at? Don't screw with me!
Matsuda, come on, man.
Before then,
Bro.
what about your dad? What the hell did he die for? My dad. You mean Soichiro Yagami?
Please, like, be nice.
Matsuda, in this world, all those earnest people like him who fight for justice, they always lose. You want a world where people like that are made to be fools? So kill the others! Shoot them!
Matsuda, please, 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 please.
You led your own father to his death. He's gone, you call him a fool?
Oh man, this is awful. Oh my god. How does he even know his... Oh.
I'll kill him. I'll kill him! He has to die!
Please, did someone stop Matsuda? There, please, please. Oh, thank you. Oh my god. Dude, Light got shot like 4 or 5 times. Oh. Mikami. Do something, man.
It's finally over. Isn't it, Nier?
Yes.
Where are you, Misa? Where's Takara? What do I do now?
Did he just kill himself? Is this one last ditch effort to like somehow use his blood?
Stop the bleeding!
It's already too late. You'll be dead in a
Oh, he just killed himself. Okay. I mean... Let's... That was his way to escape. MVP Mikami. Mikami killed himself so Light can escape. Please, I hope that's the case. Please.
Wait, Light! You're getting away! Light!
Mr. Aizawa, It's unlikely he has any more pieces of the notebook. He's not going to go far. He'll stop running soon, even if we leave him alone.
Man, I kind of said this was gonna happen.
Mir, I'm not gonna follow your orders.
Wait, what does that mean?
I'll leave it up to you.
Matsuda, man. 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 Wow. Ryuk, why can't you help him out? You're pals, right? Hopefully. Do something, man.
Well, Light, it looks like you've lost. Remember how, in the beginning, when we first met, I told you that I'd be the one writing your name in my notebook? That is part of the agreement between a Shinigami who brings a notebook to the human world and the first human who picks it up. If they put you in prison, who knows when you die? And I don't want to lie around waiting.
Wow.
It's all over. You'll die here. It was good while it lasted. We eased each other's boredom for quite a while. Well, Light, it's been interesting.
This is not what I would. Are you serious? This this is how they're ending it with Misa. Misa, please don't. Misa, please. Go back down. No, go downstairs. Now Elle's looking in Light's eyes when he dies. Please, something. Oh my god. Oh my god. That was so terrible. I can't believe they ended it like that. I can't. I just looked it up. So, there is no heaven or hell. So Elle, Naomi, everyone, Mr. Yagami, they're in nothingness. There is no heaven or hell. It's terrible. Okay, so that's what it means in the mid-credit scene, where we see, I wrote it down, all humans without exception eventually die. After they die, the place they go is M-U, which I guess means nothingness. So everyone, when they die, they just go to nothingness. They just don't exist. It's kind of funny, because in the beginning, that's why it's not a rule, is it? Where whoever uses the Death Note, they don't go to heaven or hell, or whatnot. So was that kind of like a joke by Ryuk? Because, yeah, you don't go to heaven or hell, but no one does. There's nothingness. Our boy ends up killing Light. Guys, this episode completely destroyed me. I was not prepared. I tried so hard getting prepared. I was so prepared for whatever was to come. So that's what... So, okay, I was... The whole Mello situation. So he knew what was going to happen. That's why he said this is the only way when he was driving away. He knew he was going to die. So yeah, he did all of that. So all three of them had to work together basically to beat Kira. Elle, Mello, and Nier all had to work together to beat Kira. Okay, so I was trying to look up. I'm assuming Misa killed herself in the end. And it says, well, Misa's death isn't confirmed in the Death Note anime, even if it's strongly implied, was later confirmed in the manga that she did take her own life. So yeah, everyone that uses the Death Note dies, boys. Mika... Dude. I don't think I've ever had a show do this to me. I thought the ending of Cyberpunk was bad. Like, it just destroyed me, but this was way worse. Now I got a headache. Oh my god. Oh, I guess there is no God, apparently. There's no heaven or hell. There's nothingness. So that's what Nier meant when he replaced the pages. He replaced them in the fake and the real Death Note. So that's where Mikami was keeping the real Death Note? When he was doing the bank transaction? That's when he was doing it? He had the real Death Note. Man, that was devastating. That was so devastating. It was so sad seeing Light like that. He's always in control of everything, even when he's not. I've never seen him lose his composure like that ever. I have never seen him do that. That was awful. But that is kind of cool, the whole Mello situation. I was so confused by that because like I said, I rewatched the entire show and then I watched that episode again, obviously. The whole scene felt weird. Like, what was his goal? Where was he taking her? What does he mean this is the only way? Like, what is he talking about? Well, so it was. They had to work together. That was the only way. And Nier kind of confirmed it too, that the only reason they beat Kira, Light, is because they worked together and Mikami messed up. Oh, yeah, no, he messed up. Because he wrote Kiyomi Takeda's name down. Guys, I just realized the opening to the show, the ending, the part where it goes all like full schizo mode and it goes like real fast. Now that we know how the show ends, it makes a lot of sense. Okay, we see this shot of Light, obviously. I mean, that's the end when he's dead. And this is when Light's freaking out at the end. You know, when he's been caught, pretty much. And then you see this spurt of blood right here, which happens at the end when Mikami kills himself, and the blood spatters all out of him. So that's the end. That's the end of Mikami right there. And I guess this is more symbolism for Light being shot, even though he wasn't shot in the head. And I'm not gonna lie, boys, I don't know if I ever mentioned this, but I purposely didn't, because I didn't want to put it out there and have someone accident or spoil it in the comments saying, like, I was gonna mention when I first saw this, it looks kind of like Light gets shot in the head and that might be how he dies, but I never mentioned it because I didn't want someone in the comments to be like, yeah, you're completely correct or something like that. So I never mentioned it. But now, I mean, obviously since the show's over, I can say whatever I want now, you know. And now that we know no one goes anywhere when they're dead, they just go to absolute nothingness. We never saw this shot in show. So could this be M-U, nothingness? This shot right here? Could this be nothingness? Kind of looks like it. Literally, he's in nothingness. Okay, and this... I was going to say this kind of puts plot holes in the whole thing with there's no heaven or hell. But like I said, Ryuk, our boy... Gosh, man. I don't know. There's so many things that happened in this episode that I literally said multiple ago. And I was hoping this isn't the case. Like, the last conversation between Ryuk and Light is going to be, well, it's been fun. Something like that. It was almost word for word what Ryuk said. I can't believe that happened. Out of all the ways Light could have died, I never would have guessed it was Ryuk. I never would have guessed. And when it comes to the end here, the last thing you see in the opening is blue roses, which represent a dream come true, I think. I think that's what they represent. The blue, like rose or whatever. I don't know if that, I don't know if that was necessarily a dream come true, per se, but interesting facts. It's been 6 years since Light has picked up the Death Note, and crime across the entire planet is down 70%, and there's no war. So once again, how is what he did evil? You know what I mean? I don't see it. And you know in the show when it shows the, like, it shows, like, the mid-credit scene where it shows, like, a rule from the Death Note or whatnot? Okay, these rules cannot be in the Death Note. That doesn't make, you know what I mean? Because the rule that there is nothingness when you die. I mean, you know what I mean? So I'm starting to think, when I was seeing these originally, until this episode in particular, seeing this, I was under the impression that these were the rules in the Death Note. But this isn't even like a rule, for one. And, you know, Gosh, that is such a twist. I didn't really seem like I didn't quite understand it at first when they said that, because after they die, the place they go is nothingness. When I read this, I when it said after they die, assuming to the fact that this was a rule in the Death Note. This is when the first time I saw it, I was under the impression that this is where users of the Death Note go. People who use the Death Note go to nothingness. That's what I thought it meant, but no. Because it's kind of confusing, because the first part of it was eventually everyone dies no matter what, and then it cuts to like the next rule or whatever, saying after they die the place they go is nothingness. I thought it was referring to the fact that that's where people who use the Death Note go. That would make sense, because at the beginning, Ryuk, I think it was episode 1 or 2, mentions the light that users of the Death Note cannot go to heaven or hell. Guys, that has been the one thing in this entire show that would ever stop me from using the Death Note, honestly. That was the one thing. I don't know if I mentioned in the beginning, but I remember thinking in my head, I do this weird thing where I'll talk to myself, like full-on conversations by myself. It's kind of weird, but I was talking, and this was the one thing. I was picturing, what if I was in Light's, spot, and I was in school chilling, and a book falls out of the sky, and it says Death Note on the front. And I picked it up, and the Shinigami comes to me like a week later, telling me that all users don't go to heaven or hell. That would be devastating. But, I mean, that would be the one thing that would stop me from using the Death Note. I would seriously have to consider, like, all eternity in being in nothingness if I was to use the Death Note. Like, I would seriously have to consider using it if I knew that knowledge ahead of time. But the fact... Guys, you guys must have been laughing. All the times when main people died in the show, like L and Mr. Yagami, and I was saying, well, at least they're in heaven, because they didn't... I'm losing my voice now. At least they're in heaven now, since they didn't use the Death Note. You guys have been laughing. There's no heaven. There's no heaven or hell. What a twist. This is also a little confusing too, because what the heck is a Shinigami? I don't know if I ever mentioned it to you guys, but I always assumed this was... I think I might have mentioned it. I know this is... I talk a lot in my head, and I have theories about this show every time I watch an episode. And my thing was, when Ryuk mentioned that when you die, if you use the Death Note, you don't go to heaven or hell. I always kind of assumed either you go to purgatory, or then you become a Shinigami. Because that would explain the whole existence of the Shinigami, is that a user who died using the Death Note becomes a Shinigami. That is like their torment or whatnot. But no. They're entirely different, I guess? Dude. That is so bleak and, like, depressing. Knowing there is no heaven or hell. There's nothing. Guys, I had this whole thing planned out too after this episode. What I was going to leave you guys hanging with is I was going to ask everyone in the comments, whoever made it this far, depending on how long this video is, would you guys, if the Death Note dropped, knowing that if you use it, you don't get to go to heaven or hell, would you use it? That's what I was going to leave you guys with. But there is no heaven or hell. That is literally the last thing I was going to say in the episode, because I was really interested to see what you guys would say. But now, knowing that there is no heaven or hell, I would... for real. That's literally the only thing stopping me from ever, knowing if there is no heaven or hell, and I saw a Death Note drop, you boys pick it up as quick as I can, writing names down. You know what I mean? There's no consequence. I guess the fact that torment and, like, agony and death comes your way basically to whoever uses the Death Note, so that makes sense, and I guess that would be the punishment of using it. And one thing that I thought for sure would have happened in this episode was Light would acquire the Shinigami eyes. That is the one thing that I thought for sure would happen. And I've been thinking this since episode 2 or 3 when Ryuk mentions it to Light, the whole Shinigami ideal. He went through the entire show. He never used the eyes. He never did it. He never did the deal. That is... I'm so surprised. Why didn't... He must have been in full panic. I feel like... I don't know, dude. Especially if I got shot 3-4 times like Light did at the end, I would have absolutely done the deal. I'm like, Ryuk, homie, let's do the deal. There's no way out of this. You know what I mean? I would have absolutely done the deal. But I guess at that point he didn't have the page with him. Because that is so heartbreaking. Matsuda shoots him multiple times. Out of everyone there, it was Matsuda. I seriously was hoping and praying that he would have been the one who would have like switched sides at the last minute once he finds out that Light is Kira. Because he seemed kind of like he was always on like both sides in a way. Like he kind of like seemed like he respected Light or Kira, but he never fully mentioned, like he never like says it out loud because he'd get dunked by the entire squad. But I always felt like he did admire Kira, because what he did was kind of, it's better than, I mean, the world's a better place literally with him here than it would be if he was not. So, you know what I mean? Dude, there's this world, dude, of the world in Death Note is so fascinating. Like the whole Shinigamis and everything. Where do they come from? Because I just chalked it up to either all the Shinigamis are users of the Death Note who died, or just some god created them. But I guess there's no heaven or hell. So, and is that completely confirmed? You know, because we do know that Shinigami can indeed write made up rules or whatever in the book. But, I mean, that was it in the book though, was it? No, I don't think it was, because Light would have known. Man, that was the one thing this entire show where I was like, that was it. That was the one thing stopping me from ever wanting to use the Death Note. Was the whole heaven or hell thing. But there is no heaven or hell. What a twist, man. Wow. So what then? Was Ryuk just capping? Because you know when Mr. Yagami is dying, or he is dead, and they give the book back to Sido, and he mentions the fact that he never actually used the Death Note, and like it was like a positive thing. But it doesn't matter, because wherever Light is where Mr. Yagami's at. They're together. Or they're not. They're nothing. I mean, you know what I mean? What? Well, he doesn't mention the whole heaven or hell thing, like he didn't use the Death Note, but like, that's whack, bro. Wow. I cannot believe Light died. I am blown away. Man, I didn't call it, but I got kind of close with a lot of what happened. Like I mentioned in the beginning, like, I'm not doing this to be like, oh, I'm so cool. It's just crazy how close I was. I was kind of pretty darn close with, like, I was saying everyone that uses the Death Note dies. And the only ones, literally, everyone that has used the Death Note throughout the history of this show is dead. Even Misa. She ends up taking her own life. It didn't show it, but according to the manga or whatnot, she does. She takes her own life. So that was the moment where she, I guess, jumps off. Everyone that has ever come in contact with the Death Note is dead. Well, everyone that used the Death Note is dead. That is so crazy. And that's probably another reason why Nier kept that mask on for so long. Because he could see Ryuk standing there behind them all. You know what I mean? So he's probably kind of tripping out, wondering like, is he about to die if he takes this off? I mean, I would be if I saw a Shinigami standing there, bro, whack. And I'm happy to see that. No, I'm not happy to see that what happened, but Ryuk was there. Because I mentioned last episode, where the heck are you? This is probably the most hype moment that you're going to see on this planet. Where is he? I thought he was eating some apples somewhere. No, he was there the whole time, but we just couldn't see him for whatever reason. So I'm happy to see that. Ryuk was there the whole time with our boy Light. He was there. That's so cool. I'm a little torn though, because I was really hoping... I didn't think it would ever happen because Ryuk isn't like that, but I was really hoping he would just take one for the team or something, pull a Rem, just start dunking all the suckers in the room. That would have been so cool. But weird. I watched this entire show like 3 times now. Well, I've only seen this episode once, but every episode, I mean, I think it was like episode 27, I rewatched the entire show up to that point. Then I watched it all with us. And then I got to this point again just like within a couple days ago. And I don't remember hearing that part where... Well, no, I kind of do. Where Ryuk mentions the fact that he'll be the one that like writes his name down in the book. I think I actually do remember that. It was like episode 2 or 3 or 1. No, I think I do. I just didn't... I don't know. I didn't see it that way. You know what I mean? I didn't see it in like the actual way it was going to happen. I just kind of glossed over that. Dude, MVP Giovanni though. He literally copied down the entire book, word for word, dust by dust, crinkle by crinkle. Giovanni is GOAT. Dude, that is bonkers. Wow. That is surprising. And yeah, that's why that scene was so weird with Mello. He was like, this is the only way. I'm like, what? So Mello knew he was going to die. He knew it was going to happen. So Mello was actually the true MVP over all of this, which I'm happy about, because I still don't like... Now it's not so bad. I did not like Mello's death, the way he died, but now I'm more happy because I'm so torn between this. It's so epic seeing... I'm so glad to see that they work together, though, the two of them, to match the strength of their mentor, L, and work with L to finally conquer Kira. That was a really hype moment. But, dude... Oh, man. No. Especially now, knowing there's no heaven or hell, I am full on board with Kira. Light all the way. I am hands down... You know what I mean? That was the only thing stopping me from ever wanting to do so. Was I would be scared of being in purgatory for all eternity. But if there is nothing, literally does not matter if you use the book or not. You're all going the same place when you die. Knowing that, I would absolutely... I mean, think about it. Use the Death Note to make the world a better place so less people die, so they can spend the time... a little amount of time that they have remaining on this place before they go into nothingness last. You know what I mean? So get rid of all the people doing bad so everyone can live in peace and harmony. I see no problem with that. I literally, even throughout all of this, dude, I'm 100% with Light to the very end. 100%. That was the only thing stopping me from wanting to do what he did, honestly. I mean, the only thing I think I would have ever done differently than Light throughout his entire journey would have been the way... The only thing I would have done differently is the way when he killed certain individuals, how he kind of like roasted them hardcore. Like the whole Naomi situation. She's going to literally hang herself, kill herself. And while she's walking away to kill herself, he continues to roast her. It's like, where are you going? Oh, cringe. You're going to go kill yourself? What a loser. I mean, he didn't really say that, but like, he's just dunking her after she's already going to go kill herself. I would have shown some respect or something. And what's funny is I was gonna say this too. What? Because I mean, I had like 3 weeks to think about. I mean, this show entirely up to this point, and that would have been one of the things I would have done differently. Is when Sokka's died, like when I had to kill, not me, but if I was in Light's perspective and I had to take Naomi out because she was going to catch me eventually. After I sent her away to her death by writing her name down, I was gonna pray to her and say I'm sorry. I mean, that's what I've done to all my victims. Well, it's terrible. But knowing that there's no heaven or hell, I guess there's no point in praying. This episode completely debunked everything I was going to say at the end of this episode. That would have been the one thing I would have done differently that Light has done so far. Is I would not roast. Like, I would not stand over L's body while he's dying, staring directly in his eyes with a Joker grin on my face. No. I would have shown respect and, like, you know, basically say, like, I'm sorry kind of to the end, because I wouldn't want to kill L, but the only reason I'm doing so is because he's trying to stop me from making world peace. Yeah, I mean, this episode complete, like, I almost wish I said these things before I watched this, because this episode did so many things that I was thinking, but completely dunked my theory. Like the whole heaven or hell thing, that's out the window. Every time, if I was Light in these, like with the whole Naomi situation, I'd like say sorry, I would like pray for them, because like, you know what I mean? Like, basically, I'm sorry, I had to do this. You know what I mean? You get what I'm saying? But there's no heaven or hell. So it's like, what's the point of praying? You know what I mean? I guess I would at least say sorry. And like, I would be deeply sorry. I mean, I would be saddened. I would not want to kill Naomi. Or like, any of these individuals that didn't truly... Okay, see, this is another thing. I mean, they're innocent. But at the same time, it's like they're trying to stop world peace. So it's almost like they're guilty, if you think about it. What can be more important than world peace? Crime is down 70+% across the entire planet. There's no war. You know what I mean? They're trying to stop that. Think about it. Elle and Naomi, these people, they're trying to stop world peace. That means they want war to continue. They don't want crime down by 70+% across the entire planet. I mean, they don't really want that, but that's what they're trying to stop. You know what I'm saying? Man, this it puts everything into a completely different perspective. It's that one thing, there's no heaven or hell. I was so scared. I mean, I was so horrified of watching this and like scared of this episode. I genuinely thought for sure this would have been a terrible ending. I was going into this thinking this was going to be an awful... That's another reason why if I was on my own and I was not watching this with you guys, I would never watch this episode. Because I don't know how they did it, but in my eyes, side of my throat feels weird. I'm all screwed up now from this episode. But I don't think I could have... This is going to be hard to say. I'm not going to say. I was going to say I don't see a better outcome of how they could end this show. But I don't know. The way they ended it, I think was fantastic. I'm even trying to take my bias shades off. Because like, this show can do anything. And I love it. I love this show so much. But I'm trying to not be biased here by just saying I love it because I love the show. But the ending, it was beautiful. I mean, it was. This episode was so good. Like, it was fantastic. And another thing I was going to say when I ended this, or, I mean, I think about the show, like I said, a lot. Because I haven't finished it yet, so there's so many theories. And I was thinking of how they could continue the show once the show's over. And I mean, I mean, they could easily continue it if you think about it. I almost kind of don't want them to, because it's such a masterpiece. I don't want them to ruin it, but they could. Ryuk or some other random Shinigami drops another book on Earth. You know what I mean? And obviously, the only thing that if they do a sequel, it would have to take place after the whole Kira incident. It would have to, because it came out before. It would mess up the whole timing of like this, because this is like the first time they ever encountered something like this. So if they ever did make a sequel, it would have to come out after this. And at the end there, where we see Light running, and we see him pass his old self, or like reminiscing of the old times when he first picks up the book, and you see him holding it. I think he might just be looking at his schoolwork, but or you might be looking at the Death Note. I'm not sure. But then you see the current Light run past the old Light. How they're just one's completely distraught and one's completely got everything in control, and he's like happy and doing good in life. And it's funny, this shot of Ryuk standing on top of whatever this building structure is, we always see throughout this show, we see Light and L standing on these things. But this time, the only one standing remaining is Ryuk. He's the only one left. Because remember in the first opening, we saw Light and like L on those like the tall buildings looking at each other, like to see which one has the high ground or whatnot. All that's remaining is Ryuk in the end. That's it. It's so sad when you see Light laying there, crying out basically, "Where are you, Misa? Where are you, Takeda?" Well, once he got one of their minds wiped multiple times now, and he killed Takeda. I am happy though. No. I really thought Light, if something like this comes down to it, he would end up using Misa in some last ditch effort. But she left this world having no knowledge of her ever being the second Kira. She never knew. And this is also kind of like symbolism that you can't do it all by yourself. You know what I mean? I mean, he kind of, you know what I mean? Like, Nier straight up said that, I mean, basically Kira would have won, but Mello and Nier worked together to defeat Kira. They had to work together. And if Light would stop killing off everyone that tried to help him or wipe their minds, Misa could have helped him out in this situation. Kiyomi Takeda could have helped him out in this situation, but he keeps killing them off. You know what I mean? And Mikami, yeah, he kind of messed up. He did mess up. Like, Light even told Mikami, don't make any unnecessary moves until today. But see, it's not. It is technically Mikami's fault, but I understand where he's coming from because of the whole fact that Mikami is aware of the fact that God or Kira cannot make any moves right now because he's being watched. So he probably thought, and that is why. Oh my God! I saw it and I was so confused when I see it. I mean, like I said, I watched the entire show again. When you see Mikami during the whole Kiyomi scene when she's literally about to set herself on fire, that before Kiyomi Takeda kills herself, you see Mikami leave. And I'm like, where the heck's he going? I was kind of confused by that. I was thinking, I'm trying to remember what I said the first time. I don't remember, but that was always kind of confusing. I'm like, where the heck's he going? I was thinking he was going to do the cleanup or something of like Kiyomi or something. But no. So that's where these scenes, every scene in the show means something. Even if it makes no sense, it has a purpose. Like I mentioned the Mello situation where he's in the truck, like this is the only way, something like that. I'm like, what the heck's he talking about? And that's why I said it probably has something to do with the overarching plot or plan against Kira, because there's no way they just kill a character off like that that he has no purpose. Like, his plan, what? He was going to capture Kiyomi and drive her away in a truck? Like, what the heck's your plan here? It makes no sense. But that is the plan. Or where Mikami went. He just leaves. Like, what? I thought that scene was kind of weird, but that's where he went. He went to go make a draw of money or whatnot at like the bank. And that's where he had the book this whole time. So he kind of had his death note in a safe, and the task force kind of had their death note in a safe as well. That's so cool. So it was those two things that screwed them over. Well, it's hard to say that this would be the only thing that screwed him over, because the whole Mello situation. If Mello... I mean, not Mello, Mikami. If Mikami was not in the picture, would have Light have been caught way sooner, or would he have been able to beat this? Because Mikami was kind of almost the downfall of Light, if you think about it. Because, I mean, one of the huge errors is with that Death Note that he had. But I feel like if Light had the Death Note, you know what I mean? I don't think Giovanni would have been able to get it so easily as Mikami allowed it. Yeah, see, that's another downfall of Mikami, is he was so methodical in everything he did. Everything was perfect. Over every day, exact same. And then one day, he goes out of order and does something out of order, which completely shines light. Giovanni's like, bruh, wait, what's going on here? And then that's when he goes investigate. So if he just stuck and did exactly what Light said, I think they all would have just died. Because they would not have been able to find the real Death Note. They only were able to find it because he went, and that's when Giovanni found that's where the book was. He didn't actually know where it was until that moment. So if he would have just stuck and stayed methodical as he always was. Man, how I get it. I understand why he did it. Because he thought Light couldn't move, but he could. Man, that sucks. What a G though. Mikami till the end, boys. He was a hardcore believer in Kira. He literally killed himself. To give... I know you could look at this either way, that he either killed himself to take the easy way out, because he doesn't want to be in prison for the rest of his life. But I think it was more that he knew he could not write anyone's names down right now. So the best way would to make an absolute, like, huge ruckus and, like, draw all the attention to myself by splitting my stomach open and blood spraying everywhere. I'm not even sure what he cut. I think it was his stomach or something. I don't know. Blood was spattering everywhere. And that would be the only possible thing Mikami could do to try to save Kira in the last moments of his life. So Light can make a run for it. Yup. That was an epic plan. And that's why it didn't make any sense when you watched the last episode. I'm like, there has to be something we just don't know yet. Because everything Nier is saying is what we saw him see. And everything Light is saying we saw happen. So how can Nier possibly overcome Light in this situation? That's how. That is so whack. And I am happy that Ryuk was there the whole time. Because I'm like, bro, where are you? And I want to go back, but I'm kind of lazy. I don't know. But I swear I said this almost like word for word. It was good while it lasted. Woolite, it's been interesting. Something like that. Those are around the last words that we heard Ryuk say to Light before departing this world. Well, they both departed this world if you think about it. So epic. Wait, how does this... Okay. Whoa, hold up. Okay, so everyone now knows Kira is Light Yagami? Is that where we're going with this? I mean, they would have to know, right? I don't think they're going to keep it under wraps, right? They're going to have to know that Kira has been caught. I think that must be where they're going with this. And they're going to publicly say it. So, rest in peace, Light Yagami's mom. After finding this out, she's probably going to... Honestly, she's going to kill herself. her son's been a mass murderer who's been Kira this whole time, who also basically killed my husband. You know what I mean? Rest in peace. And Sayuri, what was it? Sayuri? His sister, right? Sayuri? Is that how you say it? Or was it Sayu? Sayuri? I think it was just Sayu. I'm pretty sure. So yeah. That's terrible. What's she gonna do now? I mean, their lives are over pretty much because they're probably gonna be taken in for questioning for all eternity or something. You know what I mean? So Misa obviously now knows that the person she lives with was Kira. But you know how she feels about that whole situation, so she was probably ecstatic. Well, to hear that he was Kira, but not to know that he's dead. I'm not happy. I don't know, guys. This is gonna be rough. It's a very understandable and reasonable ending to the show. It makes sense. But like I said in the beginning of this show until now, and at this point, I still wish Light was victorious. And another thing I didn't realize exactly, but one of the rules between a human and a Shinigami, the first person to pick up the book, how that person has to die, I think, is by that Shinigami writing their name down in the book. That's kind of how he put it. That when Ryuk told Light that he'll be the one killing him by writing his name in his book, that is apparently a rule or an agreement between human and Shinigami. Because he specified that it's the first person to pick up that book. So that is the only way Light could have died. Was Ryuk writing his name down in his book. So I guess that's just an agreement. That's just how it is. I mean, in this situation, even if he didn't write his name down, I mean, Light was bleeding out. I mean, he was gonna die either way. So I was thinking, could he have made it through? But no. He was shot like 3 or 4 times. This scene right here is so good, too. Whereas Light is slowly dying. He looks up while his eyes are slowly closing. He sees L standing there. And it's the same way L died. You know, looking into Light's eyes, slowly shutting them. It's the same way, but, you know, in reverse. And the last song you hear in the show is called Coda Death Note, which basically means the conclusion or ending of a composition or just overall ending. Or in music, it can also mean the tail or stem of a note. I just put that part in because, like, Death Note, the stem of a note, it's like the end, you know? Guys. Oh, no. I thought I was done. I just gotta chill, boys. I just gotta chill. Do you guys almost feel that L could have caught Light sooner than he did? But, like, he was almost conflicted. I don't know how to explain it. Like, it was pretty obvious he was trying to catch Kira, and he kind of knew Light was Kira, but there's almost like a part of him that I feel if L had less emotions and feelings, I feel he could have caught Light sooner. But because of the fact that I think L got connected to Light, because Light was like his only friend. So he was kind of conflicted on whether or not he should go through with it. You know, I got those kind of feelings, and it kind of makes sense because kind of if you think about it, L was what Mello and Nier both are. Nier has 0 emotions, just like the methodical side of him, like, you know, everything's a game. And Mello was all of the emotion. Mello held the emotions of Nier and Mello. You know what I mean? He was all emotion. Sometimes he acted irrationally. Sometimes he acted crazily. You know what I mean? Like, they're both like L, but split apart. And that's might be the one downside of L, was I guess he had some humanity left inside of him. You know what I mean? He did kind of in a way care about Light. And I feel like if he almost was like Nier in the fact that he doesn't care. I don't even know if Nier has emotions. I haven't seen any like this entire. All I see Nier ever do in emotional wise is smile. But I feel like L could have caught Light sooner if he didn't look at him as his only friend, really. You know what I mean? Okay, and all of the SPK's names is Nate River, which is Nier, Anthony Carter, which I guess is Giovanni, Stephen Loud, which would be that other guy that doesn't get too much screen time. What was his name? Rester? I think it was Rester. That's Stephen Loud. And Haley Bullock is the girl. So that is all of their actual names. And the other ones are obviously part of the task force, like Moogie and all those guys. This was a beautiful episode, guys. I know that sounds weird, but it really was. Oh, man. I don't know, dudes. I'm going to look real quick. I don't know, man. This might have been... It's going to be hard to say. No, I don't think I can say it. There's no way. I don't know, guys. I want to say that was my favorite episode, but I'm so conflicted because I'm such a Light stan boy. But this episode and episode 25 had a lot of similarities. 25, which was Silence, which was L's last episode before he departed this world. They had a lot of similarities between that episode and this episode, especially with the audio. And how we see the main character. The main character of episode 25 was L. And the way he acted. He acted differently. We never seen him act this way. He was saddened. It looked like he was lost, and he knew what was coming his way, kind of. The whole scene where he's up on the rooftop raining, and he's like that to Light. And he's like, the whole scene on the staircase where he's like rinsing his, like, drying him off and all that. Which we never see L ever act like that. In this episode, episode 37, which is, I haven't seen Light ever act this way before. He's never acted this way. I guess you can kind of say the Death Note Relight scene where he's at L's funeral, but I'm not really counting that because it's not technically part of the show. And even in this, he acts way crazier in this than he did in that scene. I mean, Light is he has completely lost his composure. Like 100%, he has lost. Literally, he lost. He has lost the battle. This, I was scared and I didn't think I was going to be able to say it when I finished it, because I really thought this episode in particular was going to butcher the show, the ending, you know? No. This show has been S tier from start to end. What an absolute fantastic show. This show is phenomenal. Literally. This is my personal favorite anime of any show I've ever seen. Like I've said, I think I've said this since like episode 10. This is my top 3 favorite shows. These are in no in particular order either. These are just my top 3. And this is the only anime in the top 3 too. It'd be Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul, and Death Note. I'm not going to spoil anything in those shows, but the way this show is, it has a lot of similarities, especially to Breaking Bad. I'm not going to go any deeper into it. I don't want to spoil anything about Breaking Bad, but if you've seen Breaking Bad, then you know what I'm talking about. There's a lot of similarities. And it is kind of a hype moment seeing Light finally not having to hide it anymore. saying out loud that he is Kira. And he totally lost it. You see him laughing, like, maniacally. That was so awesome. You know he's been wanting to do that for the longest time imaginable. He's been wanting that for so long. I don't know. I don't even know if it's out of place. It kind of is out of place in a weird way. The whole Matsuda situation. It felt kind of off. It really did. I don't know if I like that. I get it. He seems so conflicted. Like, he was so with Light. He felt so betrayed by that. I was really hoping it would have been anyone else on the task force that was the one doing the shooting towards Light. You know what I mean? Like, I even wish it was Aizawa. I was hoping it was Aizawa who was shooting him and was about to walk over. Because, you know, Aizawa's had all, like, this built-up rage towards him for, like, the longest time, it feels. I was hoping he was the one that was about to shoot Light in the head. And it would be Matsuda that comes and pulls the gun away. But it was in reverse. It just felt off. I felt like it should have been the other way around. You know what I mean? And I feel like another scene that Light might have messed up on that maybe, I don't know, maybe he could have found a way out of this somehow, is the whole Matsuda incident. When Light is yelling at Matsuda, like, who are you shooting at? Because that was just when he ended up shooting his hand. Matsuda shot Light's hand, stopping him from running down Nate River. And then Matsuda asked Light, what did your dad die for then? And then Light says, you mean Soichiro Yagami? Which is almost like he's completely like... It's almost like he's mentally gone, where he doesn't even look at Soichiro Yagami as his father. You know what I mean? It was kind of a weird scene. Because Matsuda refers to him as your dad. And Light's like, you mean Soichiro Yagami? Like... You know what I mean? It's like he's not even looking at his own father anymore. And I feel like the way Light was talking about his father might have... If he would have not said it the way he said it, I almost feel like Matsuda could have switched right then and there, and he actually would have killed the others for Light in the end. Because Light was like, I know you understand, so kill the others. But what Matsuda says after that... You see Matsuda, you see this, he starts crying. He starts crying. All he can keep talking about is Mr. Yagami.
You led your own father to his...
I feel like if Light would have showed some more emotion in that moment and said, I'm like horrified for my father and all of that, and like say the best things you can possibly say in that moment. Because that seems to have been all that Matsuda cared about in that moment. Because he kind of looked up to Mr. Yagami throughout the entirety of the show. And if Light would have showed some compassion for his father in that moment, I feel like... Because Matsuda's obviously torn. He's crying. He does not want to shoot Light. Because he always kind of agreed with Kira. But the way Kira or Light is acting towards Mr. Yagami, it's not sitting well with Matsuda. And I feel like if, like I said, if Light would have showed more emotion, maybe Matsuda would have switched and actually shot the others. You know what I mean? That is totally a possibility. I really think that could have happened. I mean, we'll never know now, but I really think Matsuda could have switched right then and there. And I don't even know, because I understand every time that Light, he had like 2 or 3 attempts, he was trying to write Nate Rivers down. He got Nate down, then and Blood was trying to write River down, and he kept getting shot and stopped. Like, at that point, even if he was successful in killing Nate River, you still got all the other suckers in the room. So I feel like almost at that point, in his head, a victory was finally defeating L. You know what I mean? He got rid of Mello. He got rid of L. So if he would have finished Nier off, he would have won. I feel like he could have... I still think probably what happened would have happened in the whole scenario. He tried running away. But I feel like in his mind and heart, he would have looked at that as a victory. If he was able to take out the 3 of them. You know what I mean? He would have looked... He probably would have thought he was the victor in all of this. But it is crazy, and it does go back to what Ryuk said with the whole situation where like after I think it was they left the hospital, and that's when Ryuk said everyone that basically uses the Death Note, it all ends in like misery basically, and Light was like, or like misfortune comes your way, and Light was like, I don't see any of that. I'm actually having like the best time of my life, something like that. And Ryuk was like, we'll see. Something, I don't quite remember the wording, but, and now you see current Light running past the old Light, completely an opposite. Yeah. I wonder if he's almost regretting his decision. It almost seems like he might be. Not regretting it, I don't know. Light is such a unique character. But yeah, I do gotta give Aizawa some credit. After finding out that Light is indeed Kira, he just like looked at Light and he's like, yo, just give it up, man. You know, like he didn't like freak out and like, oh, I told you, or nothing like that. I mean, he was like down to earth about it. That's so cool. I'm glad Aizawa did that. Matsuda, I mean, okay, it makes sense now. I'm like, I don't know how long this is going to be. It's over 2.5 hours for me right now, so I don't know, but I was talking about the Matsuda situation felt off. Now that I watched like this entire episode basically 2.5 times at this point, it makes sense. He was so torn because of the way he was talking about his dad, about Mr. Yagami. You know what I mean? And that whole situation. So I do feel like in that scenario in particular, if he would have talked fondly about his father, which he should have been, it might not have ended this way. I don't know, man. I feel like I can continue talking about this show. It's so good. It's so amazing. So fantastic. I mean, I guess there is a way that they could continue it somehow down the line. I mean, they could easily, kind of continue it. Not per se this in this story, but this universe. Just have Ryoko another Shinigami like Sido drops his book on the planet, and then we get some more backstory and like the king of the Shinigamis or whatever. Like, what? Who are these people up here? Like, I mean, I don't know, man. There's like, I don't know. We don't really know anything about any of the Shinigami stuff or anything. We never saw the Shinigami King, or whatever his name was. We didn't see any of them. But it's kind of cool that we don't, in a way. We don't know really any more knowledge than Light does. You know what I mean? All the knowledge that Light has is basically what we have. The whole Shinigami realm is kind of like an eerie, weird area that no one really knows anything about. We kind of have all the knowledge like these people do, really. You know what I mean? We don't have any more knowledge than any of them, really. Is that place that you see at the end of the opening, is that nothingness? Is this nothingness? Because we don't ever see this shot. It looks like he's in the Shinigami room. Is that nothingness? You know what I mean? Is that what nothingness looks like? I mean, he's by himself, so how does that work? I guess one thing I wish that this episode, they ended it, I guess I don't really have any complaints with this entire show, really. Just with this episode, no, it's not really a complaint, but it kind of, no, I don't know. I wish they would have given, Misa had no dialogue this episode, would have had some dialogue. I'm glad she got screen time at least. The 3 characters I wanted to have screen time and had to have screen time was Misa, Light, and Ryuk. Those are the 3 characters that had to, obviously Light was going to have screen time. I mean, you know what I mean? But I'm glad Misa and Ryuk had screen time. That's good. I wish we would have saw a little bit more of Misa. That would have been cool. Not that I wanted to see her jump off the building, but I'm glad we didn't, because that would have been heartbreaking. That is so whack, bro. We don't... Okay, I'm going to look it up. How exact... We didn't see it actually happen. I need to look it up. The day Light dies is April 28th, 2010. And Misa died on February 14th, 2011 on Valentine's Day. This is apparently according to chapter 110 of How to Read Profiles of the Characters. So, this is kind of iffy. Did she kill herself or die of old age? Old age. Because we know her life's been cut in half like twice. You know what I mean? So is that a possibility of it? But we know that kind of, I think, is how this has worked. Since Rem died, the remaining lifespan or something like that that she had, it went to Misa, right? Same thing with when Jealous died. When Jealous died, the remaining life years or something like that went to her. So she probably had more at that point than normal. So she probably had like 25% or 50% extra life. Then she cut her life in half for the first time to get the Shinigami eyes with Rem. But then she did it again. But then got the remaining years from Rem, right? So she like kind of roughed out back to normal length, maybe a little less than normal. So for her to die less than a year later, on Valentine's Day of all days, leads me to believe it was suicide, not of old age. Because, like I said, I don't think she could have been really that old. Because of all the times she got years back from Rem and Jealous. Both the Shinigamis. She got those years. She got years from them from when they died, right? So I don't quite know what years they get back, but I know overall she gets years back. So because of that, I think it kind of roughed out. So I don't think she died of old age. I think she died of suicide, and another indicator of suicide is she died on Valentine's Day. So she was probably super depressed, obviously, because the love of her life, Light Yagami, and Kira died. She probably ended up killing herself. And we don't see how much time really passed by once we see her in her like death maid outfit thing. Like the last time we saw her when she was on the killing spree, when she was doing the singing and all that. This is the last time we see her in that outfit. And what's she doing? Standing on a rooftop. I think it's of the hotel, I'm pretty sure. I'm not sure which, but it might have been the hotel. And she's standing on the edge. I mean, yeah, I'm assuming she probably killed her, jumped off. If I had to guess. I don't know, man. Fantastic. And I don't know, guys. But yeah, all users of the Death Note have died. I mean, you know what I mean? I don't know. That's pretty sad. I'm kind of happy. I don't know. I am well. We know it's like it's in writing. Misa is indeed dead. She dies. Man, I don't know. That's just so heartbreaking. She doesn't know anything about Rem anymore, and she doesn't even know. She doesn't remember herself at all as being the old Kira. She doesn't remember anything. That's so heartbreaking, and she just dies. She kills herself. I mean, it's not confirmed whether or not she is dead, but we don't know how. I'm assuming suicide. Because we saw her staying on a rooftop, and she dies about a year later on Valentine's Day, of all days. So she probably died from suicide. Well, Ryuk is definitely going to be the cool one at the table now, or the cool kids club, when he goes back to the Shinigami realm. He's going to have one long story to tell. That's for sure. The whole Light Yagami story. If they weren't already watching. You know what I mean? So he's going to have a lot to tell his homies. Yeah, I guess I'm going to end it here. Wow. Well, since I can't end this with what I was going to say, would you guys use the Death Note knowing that you're not going to heaven or hell, since there is no heaven or hell anymore? So I guess if you guys saw a Death Note on the ground, knowing that you'll be cursed with fear, pain, and misery, would you do it? Would you use the Death Note? Would you take one for the team to make the world a better place? You know, that's another thing I was kind of scared of. I was hoping, and I'm glad we don't. I was kind of thinking that they might show, if Light was to die, they would show where he's at. I'm kind of glad they don't. Because I don't want to see whatever torment he's in. You know what I mean? Knowing that it's just nothingness, that he's not going to be he's not going to be suffering for all eternity or in purgatory. You know, I don't know. No one really knows. It's just nothingness, whatever that means. So, I don't know. And I'm happy. This show overall it's phenomenal. The show was fantastic, and I love that ending where Light and Elle, those are like the last characters you see. It's in reverse this time though. I just thought that was so cool. Well, actually, the last person we see in the show is Ryuk, looking up at the moon before leaving Earth. So fantastic. This show, I can't stop, boys. This show I want to say perfect, but I don't think anything's perfect. Not even Perfect Cell. You know, nothing is perfect. So yeah, I guess let me know. Would you use the Death Note if you saw it, or would you keep walking by? You know, like I said, I would pick it up. All right, I'm gonna hear. This is sad, boys. Such a good ending, though. I can't stop, boys. And I genuinely don't think I've ever broke down that bad on any show I've ever watched. That was so bad. It was like a solid 15 minutes of me, like, crying. It was bad, boys. Man, I just don't want to end it. I don't want to end it because I know once I end it, it's over. Death Note's done. I don't want to end it. I don't want to end this. Boy, Ryuk. So awesome, guys. I can't, man. This is the best. I've never seen an anime this good in my life. So good. Well, it's been fun. That book is done now, boys. I'm done writing notes on Death Note. Alright, well, I hope you guys enjoyed, and thanks for watching. It's over. It's over.